Welcome, everyone, to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily Marie, and it is such a pleasure to have you here today to co-create with you in this space and to talk about all things your energy. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. It is such a pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you know? So one of the things the guides are suggesting, and this is always a suggestion, by the way, you always want to go with what feels true for you. But when you acknowledge your inner light, and don't worry about where your inner light is, by the way, you're seeing a light or perceiving a light or feeling a light. That's a good thing, right? So let's ask our spirit team from our inner light to please run energy for our highest good right now. And as they do that, what energies or what in general do you notice, if anything at all? And this is simply information. Really simply information. You are building your intuitive, your energetic muscle by doing this. So the beauty is you get to be energetic always, in all ways. And the guides are giving this example. And they go, you know when you go on social media and you just get information and then you kind of file it away or you save it and you're like, I am going to make that bread recipe one of these days. Oh my gosh, do you know how many TikTok videos I've saved? And I don't know if I've ever looked back at a single one of them. I always have the intention to do so, and I just don't. So receive this information. What is it that you need from them? Or what are you receiving from them? What do you need from them? That's probably a long list, isn't it? We'll get into that in another episode. So what information are you perceiving from them? And then they go, same when you go on social media and you're like, oh, interesting, file it away. You do not have to do something every single time you receive information from your guides or your spirit team. In fact, it's kind of nice just to sort of let this energy sit with you and give it space, give it time, let yourself be curious and think, okay, so what's this going to do for me in the future? I don't know. And I guess now they're joking with me. They're like, there is no future. There's only the present. True. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about intuition tells. So tells is a lot of different things. It could be symbolism. It could be how you feel or perceive energy. And one of the beauties of building your awareness of your intuition is just by giving it a little bit space to be seen, letting your intuition be seen. And so I'm going to share what some of you have shared are some of your intuitive tells. And as I share this, you can think of, oh, is that a tell for me? Or maybe you're like, I wish that was a tell for me. By the way, if any of these things sound like, gosh, I want to experience that, tell your guides, tell your spirit team, you have free will. The more empowered you are with yourself, they're saying physically, meaning in human form, the more they get to give back to you. So one of the things that's crazy is when we engage with the light, we often receive way more than we've asked for. It's a beautiful thing, or we're at least met where we're at, which is really cool because you think relationships aren't like that, right? Relationships are back and forth, give and take. It's never perfectly even. So when it comes to your intuition, your spirit guides, and your spirit team, who are your intuition? Bears repeating. You want to think about how you have a choice. You are by no means at their mercy. It's the exact opposite. You are here to work with them in community, in your own little energetic community. So the more empowered you are with your energy, the more you reach out to them, the more you make choices for your betterment, the more you ask of them, the more they get to give to you. If you think about it, being empowered, which is the ability for us to see ourselves give ourselves what we need, make decisions for ourselves from that space. That is a high vibrational energy. And then when you engage with that with your spirit team, because that's a higher vibration, they get to actually give you even more, which means you get to ask them more questions. You get to say, what else? You get to say, I would like to have this type of experience with you. Now, the one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to then limit ourselves and say, okay, I only want you to communicate with me in tingles. That'd be nice. But then if we did that, they wouldn't be able to teach us all of the different ways. This is what's so weird about energy. Energy is like its own language, like speaking Turkish or Spanish or English or any of that. So when you consider that, think about how much there is to learn about a language. There's the formality of the language. There's the way you write a language. There's a grammar. There's a slang, all those good things. So it is kind of fun. So you can be in your power and say, I want to learn more about this. Tell me more. Tell me more. You also get to say no. I was on one of my meditative walks the other day, and I'm so curious when it comes to energy. I'm an energy junkie. And I remember feeling like for some reason, I just got this whim. One of the things that happens is I will smell energy from time to time. And I was like, I want to smell energy more. And then my humanness goes, no, I don't. Because oftentimes when I smell energy, it's like 60, 70% of the time, it's not pleasant. And it's distracting. So it's like, I take it back. I'm not ready for that right now. Let's work on other things, like my podcasting skills. So remember, you get to choose. You get to say, okay, thank you for that information. That was a good experience. I'd like to experience more of that, please. Or, wow, okay, message received. I understand that when I receive something this way, it means that feels really strong, really, really strong. Or maybe it needs to feel stronger for you. Hey, can you please turn up that volume for me, right? So I'll give you some examples. Some folks shared they feel chills or vibrations on their scalp. Someone else feels a sinking in the throat. So what they're saying right now is, you take an example of sinking in the throat, how strong that sinking is versus how light it is could be of like a message of severity, right? Like how strong of a no is something supposed to be, or how strong of a, hey, not the best thing is something supposed to be. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Moving on. Some folks say eyes blur. Someone said they see butterflies. That's fun. Goosebumps and tingly feeling all over. Yep. Get into those tingles. Goosebumps, watery eyes, and or distinct feeling in my throat and chest. Absolutely. You can ask your spirit team to expand any of these for you. Okay, will you please expand this for me? I'd like to learn more about this. You can literally just say, hey, I'd like to learn more about this. Tingling in my feet and sometimes hands. Left arm chills. Ringing in my ear. Ringing in ears is really common. I will say, if you are in America, our food source is pretty poor right now. We have a lot of processed foods. So there's a difference between eating crap food and getting ringing in your ears, which happens to me sometimes, versus the genuine ringing in your ears, which is what this person's talking about. This person's talking about when your guides ring in your ears, but it can also happen because of the processed foods we eat in America. Man, we really need to change our food. Okay, it feels like I'm on a roller coaster. My stomach drops. I totally get that. So the other thing I'm noticing is, let's see here. So I guess this makes sense why Spirit had me start out by saying, like, be empowered, ask us for more, make choices. Make choices meaning, hey, Spirit, please give me more of that feeling. Or when you feel a good feeling, you can even say, okay, Spirit, higher self, I want to build trust in this. I want to build trust in myself. Help me out. Show me the way. And then, of course, it's not like they get to just insert it in you and all of a sudden you do trust it. Or maybe that does happen. That would be wonderful. But just notice the ways that they gently guide you to learn how to trust yourself. So it is interesting to me that if a few of these things, if I look at the majority of what people wrote, they're just a tinge on the warning side of things. But I think that's why in general we expect our intuition to guide us in all ways, is because our intuition does really come in loud and clear when something isn't for our highest good. because our spirit team and spirit guides are here on behalf of our higher self and source to keep us on track in our life and live out our multiple purposes in life. So now we want to get into the good stuff too. Good is good is good is good. Let's see, what was I using? I asked my spirit team a question this morning about what would be for my highest good. Shoot, what was it? It was either, if something I was, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? It was something I was eating or drinking, but okay. Well, that's not a fun example, but things get to be good too. So maybe this would be a really great proactive practice for you. Like, would it be for my highest good to buy this candle? If you really enjoy this candle you see at the store or whatever. Or would it be for the highest good for me to order some fun takeout, right? So just start practicing asking your intuition for fun, good things and see what happens, and notice when you feel a lightness or a yes. You know, would it be for my highest good to take a 20-minute nap or stretch for 20 minutes or watch my favorite show? I mean, just start focusing on good, positive things and see what that feels like in your system. The other thing someone DM'd me on Instagram is they shared, I definitely feel that sense of draining or sense of joy in my chest as one cue. So those would be alternates to each other, which I refer to as the yes-no tool. I didn't invent the yes-no tool. It's been around forever. When I teach the yes-no tool, I teach you how to feel yes and no within your body. Of course, a lot of people use muscle testing. I think muscle testing is incredible. And there's a variety of ways to do that. But what I teach simply is, how do you feel the yes and the no in your system? Someone said to me the other day, they go, oh, you mean like a pendulum? We want to remember that a pendulum, the guys are so funny. They're like, it's like a chair, but a chair is too big for you to lift and swing from something. The power is not in the pendulum. The power is in you. You are putting your energy into the pendulum and you are basically exerting from your higher self your yes, no. So you can do that within your body too. Okay, so this person continues and says, the other is, I have a sense of knowing, so I get a yes or a no. Or no crickets, but it's not a sound. It's not like some things deceiving me. It's really more a sense of knowing. Did I read that correctly? Okay, the other is, I have a sense of knowing, so I get a yes or a no, or crickets, but it's not a sound. It's really more a sense of knowing. Okay, so the question is, I guess my bigger issue is when I get crickets, I don't know what to do. Of course. So this is where you get to be in your power more, and you get crickets and you're like, oh, hello, inner light. May I please have more information? May I please have more information? You get to ask for more information. The other thing I want to point out is if your intuition, or if it comes through sort of out of the blue, or it comes through in a more definitive voice or sound that you're not quite familiar with, or if you ask yourself a question and you get such a quick and easy response and you're like, well, it can't be that easy. Connect with your inner light. Hello, inner light. I acknowledge you. Align with your inner light. I set the intention I'm only communicating with my spirit team for my highest good. And then ask the question again and notice what response you get. So yes, you get to think of your spirit team and spirit guides as your community here to help you. It's really incredible. So now we are going to ask some questions about our spirit guides. And you are welcome to write into me what questions you have about spirit guides for your spirit guides. I'm not going to do any one-on-one readings just yet. Am I going to ever do those on podcasts? We'll see. So what questions do you have for spirit guides? One question is, what are you here to help me with? So I know I've touched on this before. Your spirit guides obviously are your guidance of intuition. They are energy for you from beginning to end of this lifetime. They are from source. Everything is from source, right? And they are a part of your spirit team. So members of Team Spirit Team You, they are. And your spirit guides in particular really kind of just help keep you on track and gently nudge you and guide you to fulfilling your life's many, many purposes, as we've talked about before. And then, of course, spirit team members are the assistants to those experiences. So say it's part of your journey to be married or have a soul-led partnership. You are going, your spirit guides are going to help guide you to that individual or individuals. And then your spirit team members are going to come in and help you develop all different types of tools and skill sets within that relationship. You're going to have spirit team members supporting you and your partner, which is really cool. They're neutral. Even though we want them to take our side, of course. They're neutral and they're there to help both of you. And then you may have additional spirit team members come in just to help you for your side of that partnership. I can hear someone asking me, does my partner get specialists too? Where are they? They're there. Trust me. And they're patient, as you can imagine. Okay. No, we love all partners and all journeys for us. We really do. I really do mean that. One of the things I'm learning in this lifetime, by the way, is detached love. Oh, I will tell you, that is something. Detached love just brings you further home into yourself and your connection with your divine. It is interesting. You really have to let go of all forms of attachment, which I'm like all of the attachment styles. Okay, so that's what they're there to help you with. Does that make sense? Let me know if it brings up any questions. How can I continue to recognize your presence, spirit guides? It is by taking time, taking a moment to be with them. You think about any relationship you've ever had, the more you invested in it, including the one with yourself, the better it becomes. So the more you invest with your spirit guides and spirit team, the better it becomes. But it doesn't have to mean this has to be burdensome. It could be for a few seconds in the shower. It could be as your meditation. Sometimes I will actually spend an entire meditation just chatting with them back and forth. I actually did that this morning and it really, really helped ground me and gave me such clarity. And I asked them questions back when they would give me responses. I'd say, okay, and what about this? And what do you think about this? And then I would hold space for myself. And, like I was in this one instance I'm working through right now, I was like, okay, where's ego showing up for me? Keeping in mind, ego is just, they're saying shows us burdened part of ourselves. I say the ego shows us where we're still damaged, hurt. They're saying failing. Wow. It's so funny. I don't know why it's so funny. But I was holding space for where else ego is showing up. And because I was engaged in like this pod with my spirit team, they just showed me other areas it was showing up, right? And other areas where I had worked through a level, which that's exciting too. And then the next level shows up. Energy's a spiral on a spectrum. Okay, so how can I continue to recognize your presence, sit with them, be with them? One of the activities I'll take people through in groups is actually helping you feel your spirit guides. And spirit team, you can ask them to send you love. You can ask them to send you funny, whatever. It doesn't have to all be serious. And believe me, spirit guides are anything but always serious. I promise you. Spirit does not want us to just be serious and spiritual all the time. That's how you reach enlightenment. No, you are here to be human, to experience joy, to experience pleasure. Yeah, they say make the world your oyster. Aren't they sweet? They're so sweet. Okay, they're showing me too, there's other ways you can continue to recognize their presence. So, I'm going to pose it to the group. How have you spent time or how have you recognized your spirit guides more? Let me know. Okay, a couple more questions. I don't want this to get too long, so I may make this a second podcast. Do I call you or do you call me? I love this question. So again, we think about, this is such a good theme today. We think about how our intuition has always come through for us so strongly to help us keep on the right track in life, right? When our gut comes in and is like, no, don't go left or whatever. So again, we want to remember this is a back and forth. This is a healthy relationship. You get to say, wow, I am me, like I'm Emily. I get to explore this earth plane, test my edges, enjoy a pizza, enjoy a healthy, fresh, organic garden salad, live life, live experiences, make mistakes, and my spirit team is going to help guide me here. And by the way, just because your spirit team gives you guidance doesn't mean you have to listen. How many times have we done that? So I had a member of the ILCC share, Inner Light Circle Community share. I got a no for this, but I wanted to enjoy it anyway. I said, good for you. I mean, they do not expect us to be perfect. Believe me, your spirit guides and spirit team show up with the expectation that it's going to take you a while to figure things out. So don't worry about it. They know, they're like, you are here to mess up. This is not, a fairy tale land where everything runs smoothly and you always make the right decisions. That's not the earth plane experience, hands down. Okay. Are you getting into, let's see, I think we're going to leave it at that. I was about to jump into the questions about intuition, and we will park that for next time. So what questions do you have about your spirit guides or for them? You can email me, connect@emilymarie.com. And I do have some questions already around intuition. What do you want to know? You're also welcome to email me those questions or just share your experience. And with permission, I will share it anonymously or with your first name on the podcast. Believe me, your story and experience will help so many. In the meantime, thank you so much for bringing more of your light into this world. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and make sure you've signed up for the newsletter for special insights, offerings, and announcements that are just for you.